won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming here at Sports Money. You know what's up, you know where it's at, you know what we do here, and that is give out betting advice, information, I should say, to help you guys make informed betting decisions. We use line movement, we use cash flow analysis, we use trends, we use angles, we use injury reports, we use the weather conditions, we use pretty much everything that's out there at this time of day. We put it all together, aggregate it all day, pulling it all in so that we can come here and give you guys winning bets, or at least do our damnedest to get there, right? Honesty, transparency, making sure you know what we're doing when we're doing it. Betting responsibly. We flat bet. We don't have 7-unit flyers chasing down bad losses with a 10-unit play. We don't do that here. And we treat the goddamn community with respect, because you guys are the best sports betting community in the business. We would never put a poll out there and come back and say, well, let's see what they did so we can take the other side. Hell no. And it's because we've been working together now for over 2 years, developing, fine-tuning our craft, trying to get that money and have a good time while we do it. And boy, these live shows have been banging. Shout out to everybody that was a member of last night's live show. If you weren't, I don't know what you're doing. Gave out live plays, not just in-game, but the NHL, the NBA. Gave out a same-game parlay that cashed. How about that? No tricks, no deceit, no deceiving anybody. Put it in the chat, as I do every single live show for the NFL anyways. Right there in the chat for everybody to see. Got it? Plenty of time to put it in. Bang! Cashed. That damn thing cashed in the first half, with the exception of, well, there was 2 plays that didn't. One needed 1 catch. He needed a yard. And the other one needed to go under. So we had to wait all day, all game. But what a fun weekend, man. We went live for the NFL betting blitz here with my guy Shark. Shark and I were rocking and rolling, giving you guys plays and action across the board out there. How about them Carolina Panthers? No disrespect for our guy. Of course, you know, the one, the only razor sharp picks, and it stinks that his tight end is out, but did talk about the Panthers, did talk about that being a shit spot for him. I even said, if I take my dogs, I like to see him win on the money line. Hey, I had a bad beat with Houston. What can you do? Quarterback went down early. Now, some would say you can't cap that. And they'll say, oh, if the quarterback's injured, we talked about the Lamar Jackson theory, and he gets re-hurt, if he aggravates the injury, yeah, you can cap that. But a healthy dude coming into his own, getting hurt, no, you can't cap that. But I think if you guys, the Bears, I was like now here's the problem with that Lions first half. Every schleppo on the planet, it turns out, was on that trend. I got so many calls. Did you know this? Did you? I'm like, yeah, didn't you see me give it out? And the fact that everybody knew it, I knew that was dead. I knew it was dead. Carolina plus 13.5. We cashed it. I gave you guys the teaser in the Chargers and Rams. That cashed. I gave you the over 43.5 in the the Chargers game. That cashed. I gave you Atlanta plus 5.5. That cashed. I gave you San Francisco 49ers. That cashed. Sadly, Jacksonville minus 2.5 did not cash. I gave you guys the Bills. Get that job done. And then last night, well, it was always Seattle. We cashed live bets in Seattle last night. We cashed player props live at halftime last night. It was a glorious night. Flip the page back to Saturday. It was a glorious Saturday. Man, the UFC, I was firing. I was on fire. I'd say I scorched my hair was on fire, but I don't have any hair. So, Man, what a great night. Now, Onama in the end. The fix is in, boys. You know what's funny? You guys remember a couple live streams ago when I was like, I got proof that these sports are fixed. And I showed that football clip. It's not a popular take, but come on. There's no fairy tales and there's no rainbows and butterflies with leprechauns standing at the end of them. All that shit's fake, in case you didn't know. The Tooth Fairy, I ain't never seen her. Santa Claus? The UFC under investigation. It's funny. I was talking to MMA Jeff earlier today. I was like, don't you remember a couple of years ago? They had their Fuck It Friday videos. And the rumor was on Fuck It Fridays, and if you don't know what it was, it doesn't matter. It's over now. But the rumor was they would basically give out the winning plays in code for the UFC guys to bet on. And so I would decipher the code and I would bet on some of those plays. And then Jeff used to get angry at me. Stop saying that. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And look where we are. Look at this Bulgarian. This guy was on record a couple years ago saying that the fighters should get part of the take that people make from bets. And so, surprise, surprise. The FBI has been investigating all the way back to the James Krause process here. Probably won't see anything pop off for a while, but apparently rumor has it there's over 100 fights that are on the radar for match fixing. Makes sense. It's a human element. That, boys and girls, is precisely the reason that we just flat bet. Treat the betting account with respect. Even if you think you got the lock with your cock in the century, you still can't factor in the unknown. Who knows? Who knows? The guy could bang his knee on the door, walking out to the floor, and you got 10 bets on it. 10 units. So, we flat bet. College football. I don't want to let this year get away from me, but we got some work to do. I think it was like, well, I hit a parlay too in there, so it was okay. College football is pretty flat, I would say. But man, you check it out. Look at the deal. Look at the data. Look at the facts with the Win Club. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, try it for a month. Just ask you to try it for a month. It's the cheapest damn service going. And I'm not trying to, my thought process is we'll just undercut all these fucking greedy pigs. They want to charge you $100 for 3 days. The capper that you're trying to support only gets $30 of that 100. Nah, look we're $1 a day. I'm $1 a day. $1 a day. We're up over 35 units in November. Can you believe that? Actually, it's even more. Some of the free plays lost, but the premium stuff was kicking ass and taking aim. So look, maybe you're not of the elk that says, I don't want to buy picks. Well, think about it as getting winners, and then you're tipping the guy in advance for the winner. How about that? Because we've been firing. And look, we swept the board with premium plays in the NHL this weekend, whole weekend. Now we had a push in there. So, what are you going to do? I think we were 3-1 in NBA. UFC was 8-3. We won over 15 units in the UFC at 8-3. So there's some magic happening out there, you guys. And of course we go live. Sometimes I share the premium plays. I just don't call them a premium play. So you got to be live to check them out. At the same time, though, I did post a ton of content to the community post. I think we went 3-1 in men's tennis this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Man, it was just firing. It was just a great Saturday and Sunday. And puts me in a chipper mood for Monday. And I'm fired up to give you guys college basketball. In fact, I wanted to check. Does anybody know? Did my college basketball play win? Did the college basketball play win? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Does anybody know? Did anybody play it? What did I tell you? One of my favorite sport to bet on is the UFC, despite it being rigged and all that other shit. My least favorite sport to bet, the NFL. It's too public. It's too sharp. My newest favorite sport to bet is Major League Baseball after a 150-unit season. But college basketball has been for a long time and remains. I told you guys the story. My bookie was calling me up, asking me to give him some advice on what some numbers he should set for some of the divisional winners when it came down to tournament time. That's how much I enjoy it. That's how successful we are at college basketball. That's a no bullshit story. Literally, I'm sitting in my office one day and I get the phone. I'm like, oh, it's not a collection day. It's not a payout day. What the fuck's going on? He's like, hey, I got somebody that wants to make a couple big bets. And he's asking for some alternate lines on the conferences. And he's like, so what do you think about the ACC, the AAC, the MAC, the WAC? We were going right down the line. And one of them was Syracuse. And just so you guys, Syracuse is my team, my squad. I've told you before. I was like, dude, you can give them $1 million for $1. Syracuse ain't winning that conference. There's no fucking way. And they got eliminated like the second game. So, but there's no way. He's like, you think? I was like, well, you can't give him $1 million. Obviously, he's gonna think wacky shit about it. But anyhow, yeah, let's go. Robert McCormick says the college hoops play cashed. Yes, that's gonna give us 2-0 now. 2-0 to start the college basketball season. How about that?
Are you sure this is legal?
I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
It's fun though, ain't it? Ain't it? Yeah. I like it. I'm fired up for tonight's Monday night football game as well. We'll talk about it here tonight to close the show, and then we will get live at 7:45. Get some drinking us, smoking us, some bets in us. But I got 3 of the 4 hockey games tonight with some action here with the Pirates. Jesus. Oh, baseball's over. Oh, by the way, speaking of baseball being over, I know some of you guys heard me kind of talk about it the other day. I'm going to talk about it again. Cashed the World Series MVP with Yamamoto. It was 35-1. I don't normally play future bets. You guys heard me say it. I usually make 1 for hockey, 1 or 2. I do have the future bet for Jonathan Taylor. That was 50-1. I told you guys that 3 weeks ago. We'll see what happens now. You probably get a better number after this past week. But Yamamoto, within a week, we cashed a 35-1 MVP future bet. And I think it was his 11th inning heroics to win the World Series that truly made him the MVP of the World Series. He had a complete game, crushed it the second game, and then comes in extra innings to save it and get the job done there. What a fucking 35-1 success story that was. Anyhow, back to hockey. We're going to get into the season now. We got plenty of data behind us here. We're a month deep. We've got the Penguins and the Maple Leafs. We've got the Oilers and the St. Louis Blues. We've got Chicago Cubs. There you go again. Chicago Blackhawks, whoever the hell they are, and the Seattle Kraken. Yep, that'll be the 3-pack for us there. 2 games in the NBA. Look, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry they're winnable. I bet the Portland Trailblazers earlier today at -144. It's documented. I went and looked here right before the show, and I was like, holy fuck, they're -9.5. It's minus like 400 now to take the Blazers. So I took that one off the card. I'm sorry. I got the Bucks and the Pacers. I've got the Heat and the Clippers. You know, we're going to leverage some trends. They are our friends until the end. We're going to get to college basketball. Now, I've got 3. I went 3 because as I was prepping, I was a little nervous. I had a little bit, I'll be honest, your boy, Mikey Money here had a little PD panic in him. A little PD panic on me saying, man, this game, it was like 129.5 was the total in that Northern Arizona game at one point in the first half. And I was like, fuck, maybe I better slow down here. I don't want to give up all of our winnings right off the gate. I bet responsibly. So I do have a couple more plays that I can probably share with you guys here. Appy State, Central Michigan's a spot that I'm involved with. Rider and Virginia. Riders on the Storm. Can they cover 4? Riders on the Storm. Shout out to our guy, Pete Loshak. And then we're going to go Boston College and the Florida Atlantic Owls to close out the college basketball card. And I told you we'll nightcap it up with Monday Night Football. I think I've got a winning side for us in that spot as well. So, how's everybody feeling, man? November is here. I've said this before. October's a tricky month. And it's no excuses. It's just tough. There's a lot of sports coming online. There's a lot of sports that just came online. There's a lot of shit happening in October. You got baseball playoffs. who knows what's going to happen with that uncertainty? Playoffs are anybody's animal, unless you knew the Dodgers were going to win. It was obvious. You've got hockey season just starting. You've got the NBA season just starting. You've got college football season is just a couple weeks underway, a month underway. And so now, they're into the conference play out there. You've got the NFL. How can you forget? The NFL's fucking bookies delight out there throughout the Sunday programs. And then on top of that, you got college basketball. So full disclaimer for me, I won't really have my shit together for college basketball probably till Thanksgiving, if then. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of fucking teams. There's like 350 teams, right? It takes a little bit of time to figure out who the hell these teams are this year versus last year. There's just too much going on. And so I like to see who they are because, look, one or 2 years, and now with the NIL, even if you had a team like High Point, you guys know how much I like High Point. We had them to win their conference 2 years ago. You got players transferring out. You got players getting out of the program. You got head coaches move. There's so many more moving parts now in college basketball than ever. And it makes it fun, but also makes it tedious. And so it does take a little bit of time. So we're going to just kind of slowly, wade into the water before we start making giant splashes. But we still have to bet it because you still have soft markets. This is what I say before about all those bozos that come out and they're like, I love whatever sport's coming up next, right? It's what they're doing is they're bouncing a shiny ball in front of you because they think you're too stupid to recognize it. I love college basketball. I'm so great at it. Meanwhile, you're sucking the big D in football and everything else under the sun, right? So they want to distract you. Then when it gets here and you're all excited and you're all amped up, they come back and they say, well, we're going to wait 2 or 3 weeks before we start betting it. Wrong. You got to pick your time. You got to be careful. You got to be prudent, but you're going to catch soft markets that you can get involved with before the books manipulate it and know what's going on. You got to keep in mind, especially with these sports like college football and college basketball, the books got to put lines on hundreds of games. And college basketball is great because they got to do it every single day. And today they had over 100 of them going. So in any event, you guys know the deal here. We are here to get the picks. We are here to make some money. I am here to see your guys' best bets. And let's get them in the chat because we all want to win. We don't want to be those guys that come in tomorrow. We're not those guys, right? We're not those guys that come in tomorrow and they're like, remember I told you? Told me what? I told you Marshall was going to go out there and blow out UMass by 100 points and they won. I don't remember that. Did you sure you put that in the chat? Yeah, I did. Oh, so now you have no integrity. You're not honest. And what do you need to have? Somebody pat you on your head and tell you you're a good boy? No. Part of the fun is putting your neck out there and then seeing if it comes through, right? That's how we build respect and credibility in this community. So make sure you guys get your best bets out there. Before we even get moving, we got to hit that thumbs up button. You guys show the support, show the love. If you're making money, you're having fun with what we're doing here, make sure you take a second, get that thumbs up button and click, and then we'll get to work. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. Let's go. It's time to put on this show. I was just reflecting. I think the only 2 football games I lost yesterday were that Lions first half and the Texans. Because on Winnable, I gave out the Steelers. Oh, and then Jacksonville. My bad. Jacksonville -2.5. Fuck. I guess I lost 3 games yesterday. And then to finish off the night, cash the same game parlay. Why not? 14-1. I shared it on Twitter. Make sure you guys go back out there, check it out, like it, repost it. And let's get going, man. We got ourselves a night in front of us. And it starts right now. So let's fire up. Why wouldn't we kick off with Jover? Joe T. Never been an over he didn't like, but tonight he's got 3 for you guys. He's got 3 specific overs. He's got Blackhawks Kraken first period over 1.5, and he's got the over 6 in that game. Blackhawks Kraken. He's got the Oilers Blues first period over 1.5 as well from Jover. Shout out to Blake M. There's Michael Johnson. This is Mikey Money. Let's go, big dog. Let's go, Michael Johnson. This is at Joe plus Seattle first goal. Let's have you a day. Let's go. Michael Johnson says, Joe out for season. No, oh man. I didn't realize that. That sucks. Well, Chargers just became a fade. Michael Johnson says Cards plus 3.5. Peter Gracia, he's checking in with us. There's Andrew G. Says Andrew G says UFC released Algerian after the investigation. They should have. So, I mean, I still bet on that fucking scumbag, and the other guys faded him with all that line movement there. And I was like, man, somebody knows something. Apparently they did. Shout out to Robert McCormick, David Wallace. Michael Johnson says nice. The Futon Bets, Arizona college basketball, Arizona Cards plus 3.5. Sup, buddy? What's up, Futon Bets? What's up, my dude? Robert McCormick says that college hoops play cash. There we go. And he got Northern Arizona plus 8.5. I came in there on the 9.5 a little bit, but it's too late to give it out. And it moved to 8.5. Room to run. What's up? Ben says, I'm going to hold my nose and take the Cardinals plus 3.5. Wing and a prayer. Michael Johnson says, good start, sir. Michael Johnson likes Toronto, Edmonton, Seattle overtime. What up, AOD? Shout out to my dude, AOD. He's been a supporter since the get-go, man. My guy's an OG. Robert McCormick says it finished 71-77. Woo! Did Northern Arizona win outright? They were up. The reason I ask is because I do believe with all the changes that went on inside of this program, I do believe that Drake's going to be a fade. I mean, new coach, new players, lots of freshmen, inexperience, new systems, new styles, new formats. You know the deal. When it comes to college, we don't have shit to go on, but what we can go on. No, Drake did win. All right. But still, the 9.5, like you guys were saying, 8.5 is covered. You don't have much to go on, but what you do have to go on is recognizing if there's a new coach in there with new players, it's going to be a new system, and it's going to take a little while to adjust and get ready. So, any event, let's go. Appreciate you sharing that, Robert McCormick. Jerry Davis's brutal starting day, losing +6 on Queens, but did cash the under. Shout out to Jay Peasy. I got Jay Peasy's in the house. What up, Jay Peasy? Robert McCormick says, I think I'm fading High Point tonight. Jerry Davis says Northern Arizona +10.5 and the first half under 70. Pretty sweat-free. Robert McCormick says the pre-conference play is way easier to beat, in my opinion. I agree. I just need like 2 games, right, to overlay year over year. Jerry Davis says Furman +4. Appreciate you sharing, Jerry. Jay Main's in the house. Let's go. We're on our way. Jerry Davis is at Robert. The lines are soft or stupid until December in college basketball. Is his opinion. Agreed? Agreed. There's Stop Geo says, good luck to my people. Let's go. Tarek B's in the house. Says, what up, Big Mike? Let's cash and pay some bills today. Shout out to Tarek B. Came on, made his debut on Saturday with the UFC stream. It was a lot of fun. Good job, my dude. Good job. Got us our winner in I think the lucky charm. Got us that winner in the first fight. Joe W. says, cheers, Mikey. Nasty Nate's got the Celtics in the second quarter. Second quarter for Nasty Nate. He also has a McBride anytime touchdown. AOD says, Jover Range Rover. Let's go. AOD says, Nasty Nate sweeps tonight. All right. J Main says, Lori Markkinen under 25.5 points and Pritchard over 5.5 assists. Brian Palmer in the house says Celtics first half -5.5. Jazz been being blown out in the first half on the road. That's a tricky game. Robert McCormick says Drake came back and won. Wow. Yeah, I see what you guys are saying there. Jeez. I turned the TV off to stay focused. J-Man says Greek over 11.5 rebounds, over 7 of his last 9 head-to-head. Jeff Matthews says Drake won. Brian Palmer says over 6.5 Penguins versus Toronto. Joe W. says Detroit Mercy +9.5 and the under 225.5 Minnesota. Brooklyn Nets game. Gorky. Hey, Gorky. What's up, man? You got Arizona money line tonight. College hoops from our guy, Gorky. Brian Palmer says Blackhawks and Canucks puck line. Jerry Davis says NAU going to be a fade. Also not athletic enough. They're always not athletic enough, aren't they? I bet you they do all right in their conference. I don't know. Tech pieces so far, I'm only on the Cowboys team total over 28.5. Bucks, Raptors first half full game. Rockets, I'm sorry. Rockets, not Raptors. Rockets first half full game. Trailblazers first quarter full game. Parlay first half full game. Parlay. Brian Palmer says George Pickens over 64.5 receiving yards. Bam Knight. Bam Knight is my first touchdown scoring guy. First touchdown scoring guy tonight is Bam Knight. Put it out there. Want to get it out there. Want everybody to know. Robert McCormick says, yes, Jerry. Once the threes stopped, Drake came back instantly. Gorky likes that McBride touchdown. Marvin Harris. I think that's a Harrison touchdown, right? Is that Marv? J. Dave says, I'm on Bam Knight under 13 carries. I think Mercado's scalp carries. The Goracle, says Jay, man. I like that. I like that. Let's go. Gorky's got Cowboys first quarter -1.5. Irish King says Pitt money line, Vancouver money line. J Main's got Josh Hart under 11.5 points and assists if he plays. Okay. I apologize in advance. I'm going to have to type these in on the fly because I did not. I don't know what I did. I'll be honest. I don't know what happened. You know what happened? I haven't had a cup of coffee in 3 days. That's what happened. And I don't know. If you're one of them people that starts off with a cup of coffee, you need a cup of coffee. It's not easy to just fire up and, something about the process, You know what I'm saying? Picking up what I'm putting down? All right. We'll kick this NHL card off with a play in the Penguins and Maple Leafs game tonight. These are my plays. So play as you will. And look, some information's coming in. My sharp respected betting report came in late. Let me just take a peek at this. Okay. Okay, nothing's changed. Tristan Jarry will start for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's a soldier. Anthony Stolarz. He's a bit of a clown. I say clown because if you guys saw that play the other night there, Toronto gets in the fight and with Philly and former Toronto players on the Philly Flyers there, and Stolarz removes him from the fight and takes him back, and then they started chit-chatting out there. So anyhow, Jarry's got a 5-1 record with a 2.35 goals against average. Fact. Stolarz gets a lot of playing time, and he's having an okay season. Great game his last time out. 31 of 33 against them, said Philadelphia Flyers. So why do I like the Penguins in this game? 2 reasons. One, surprisingly, the hottest team in hockey right now happens to be, well, besides the Utah Mammoth and that streak that they were on, the Penguins. The Penguins are one of the hottest shops in town. Malkin's having the season of his life at 100 years old. It's ridiculous. Now, in Thanksgiving time, or maybe a little bit after, as these guys get older and bodies start breaking down because of the mileage, they'll probably regress to the means. But right now, they're riding hot. And they're in a bounce back position. One could argue, well, are they bouncing back because they were looking ahead to this game? And I was talking earlier with somebody that was talking to me about the line. Why is this line's funny? Toronto Maple Leafs, we talked about this earlier. They're the New York Yankees of hockey. Toronto's a huge city, as everybody well knows. Toronto's an original 6 hockey team. And so think about this. When you're looking at lines for certain teams, in this case, the Penguins or the Leafs, and you're like, man, it says they should blow them out. There's a tax because people are going to play Toronto, whether it be the classy Leaf logo, the experience as a kid, then add to it, every Canadian that's born literally gets issued a birth certificate, free health insurance, and a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. And every year, you get a new one sent to you from the Prime Minister. So there's a lot of Toronto Maple Leafs love. And when guys come back to get an opportunity to play against that Maple Leaf, they take it seriously. Sidney Crosby, big dick to everybody for a little guy all over Canada, Brampton, whatever. Set in OHL, QMJH. I mean, all the records in the world out there. So he's going to have a ton of fans. He's going to be an eye on family and friends in the arena as well. So you got guys that are hot that should continue to stay hot. And oh, by the way, in a bounce back position right now, the Penguins are 3-1 in that bounce back spot. So I'm going to fire. And I gave this out earlier today. The reason I gave this out earlier today was because I expected this line to move, and it did. We caught about a nickel or so of CLV. I should have given out that fucking Trailblazers game. The reason I say that is because there's a lot of dudes carrying the load without LeBron being around, and it's only a matter of time before everyone's back is broken because those are big, heavy dudes. Dale Fixes, my ex-Canadian girlfriend was issued a Maple Leaf tat. That would fuck me up if I had to look at that. Jay Main says Rudy Gobert over 10.5 rebounds. AOD says an apple a day keeps the doctor away. All right. Jay Main says Amon Thompson over 16.5 points. Dallas bottom 3 points in the pink. Okay. So that's how I'll kick off the NHL card. We'll keep her moving as we get rolling. I just think this is a great bounce back. Good price tag. And look, if you do want to hear some of the splits, I know we don't talk about them much, but I'll use it to feel good about my situation currently. They are respecting the sharps. Plus 135 moved up to plus 155. It was actually 158. Then now 156. Then now 155. So it continues to drop. You have 24% of the bets, but 50-50 on the cash. And guess what? The big cash creates a big liability when you have a big price tag. So we'll take our shot. We'll see if it's, I feel like it's a calculated shot. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, these are out of order now, too. Really? Okay. All right, game number 2. We will continue in the National Hockey League. Couple spots when I was looking at these games, and I just fired off without even going through my notes for this Penguins game. I guess I probably should have looked, because I thought there was something meaningful I wanted to tell you guys. It doesn't matter. We're on to the next. You get the point. I think the Penguins come out here and fuck. Oh, by the way, as road dogs scoring 2 goals the previous game, the Penguins are 14-3 against the spread. They continue to dominate on puck lines. And I think a lot of people will go with the minus 1.5 here. They'll say, oh, Maple Leafs should go blow these guys out. Time will tell. That's why they got to play the game. Number 2, we'll take a look at the Oilers and the St. Louis Blues. Calvin Pickard will start for the Oilers, not Skinner. And then on the other side of things, Jordan Binnington starts for the St. Louis Blues. Buyer beware with these overs. I'll say that. I had a lot of trends on the dashboard that showed unders in these games here. But on the surface, both these goalies are struggling right now. 3.5 goals against average for Pickard. He is the backup to Skinner. And then Binnington's 3.21. Problem is, the Blues stink on defense. They absolutely are horrid. And the issue and the opportunity that creates is when you got a team with the number 1 power play in hockey in the Oilers, they should go out there and smash. They've been playing well. They've been picking up points in 6 of their last 7 games on top of it. And I mentioned that power play and effectiveness. Conversely, the Blues stink on their penalty kill. They're allowing 4 goals a game, and their penalty kill ranks 27th. This is a mismatch. Don't go to overhype because of who the goaltender is in this case. Any backup goaltender, still a pretty good goalie when it comes down to it. So I'm going to take the Edmonton Oilers at the minus 130 price tag here. On the road, I think we're getting a discount. I think we're getting a price break. We're getting the blue light special with the Edmonton Oilers in this spot against St. Louis. You're allowing too many goals. You stink on the penalty kill, and you're playing the best power play unit in the game. That's going to create a problem. And I think Connor McDavid and company will find themselves a W on the ice tonight. We'll keep her moving. Last game on the card. This one is going to be a Blackhawk spot for me. This one made the Sharp Perspective betting report. They like them some Blackhawks. Now, the problem is Soderblom's been announced the goaltender. So this came out yesterday. They were firing away on the Chicago Blackhawks spot. And at first I was a little confused because I was looking at these 2 squads and I thought, well, Seattle's home and we know they can dominate. They've been having a decent start to the season, I guess. 5-2 overall, but they're kind of in that malaise. You know what I mean by the malaise? You spend a lot of time in your own barn. So you get comfortable. You get complacent. You're not on the road smacking down that road tail. You got the same piece at home. Sometimes you get bored. Now, Decord is 5-1-3. So he keeps him close. He keeps him competitive. I get it. You got Blackhawks, then you got San Jose on deck before you go on the road again. And they just had that massive road trip. So it makes sense that they get to spend a little time at home to start the season. But, you know, on the other side of things here, the Blackhawks, we finally saw the awakening of one young superstar potential. Supposed to go out there and kill it. Kind of was sleeping at the wheel. But now we've seen Bedard's woken up, had himself a hell of a game the other day. And I think this little road trip does him some good. I think this is an opportunity for them. Now, it's not pretty. You know, you're going against a team that's been out there smacking. But they're middle of their road trip. They just had Winnipeg they lost. That was a 6-3-er. They lost to Edmonton. Those are big teams. This becomes the step back in competition. And I think this is where they can come out there and shine. I got one more. I'll add one more to the mix. I get down with this one. Why not? Why not fire one more up? Does anybody mind? We'll just make a bet on every single game in the NHL tonight. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? We like intersecting zeros. Intersecting zeros are good. And it's an under in the Nashville and Vancouver game that we're going to look at for this last bit of action. I needed to wait and see what was going to happen from the goalie front. And I like what I'm seeing. At least likely is Thatcher Demko and UC Saros. Record-wise, fuck. I wouldn't take either of these teams at either of these prices. I mean, I think they should be flip-flopped. I think the Canucks should probably be minus 115. And the Predators should probably be plus 100. So ultimately, you're probably looking at a value spot there with the Canucks, but that's not the option. That's not the angle I want to go with in this game here. You got an under 5.5, and it's juiced to the over, but it's not moving to the over. So is it true juice or is it a little bit of a head fake? And when you look at these numbers, this one makes a ton of sense because the Canucks rested conference opponents that average less than 27 saves a game. 4.5 total goals in those spots. The under is 7-0, and the Predators followed up with 12-0 to the under. When you get the lines between a pick 'em, we're not sure what they're going to do. The reality is they don't score goals. So within the 125s of a pick 'em, the Predators find themselves 12-0. That gives us an average scoring total of 4 goals out there. I'll take the under in this. I saw you guys had some overs. Let me just take an under and feel pretty good about this spot here tonight with the NHL. So we added an NHL play to the equation. Got one added to the mix. Okay. Good talk. Let's go to the NBA. Crooked motherfuckers. I got to take the Bucks. Look, 65% of the bets, 65% of the cash. We've got the line moved to 6. There was some 6.5s before some late buyback here. Just keep that in mind. So there has been a little bit of a downtick. 234.5 moved to 235.5 with 86% of the bets and 85% of the cash on the over. There you go. Expecting a scoring frenzy. Giannis, why not? He's BDing everybody, right? King of the court. This guy literally is leading the board at King of the Court. Pacers just came off a big lead. Arguably, there were some issues with that game because the fourth quarter for them Golden State Warriors, 10.5 points. I know we talked about it on one of the shows that we were live on there, and it seemed like Golden State was a shoo-in. They were busting them up, and then all of a sudden the Pacers, the call came in, the Pacers get the win. Bucks, on the other hand, just blew it to the Sacramento Kings. They're 6.5 point favorites. So the line comes down a little, shade the line down off of a loss, as an outright loss, as a 6.5 point favorite. Yes, they're on the road. Problem is the Pacers, in my opinion, and this is why it's hard to believe the Golden State game went the way it did. They stink and everybody's out. Nebhard, Toppin, Halliburton, McConnell, Matherin. Who's left? Giannis has been upgraded to probable. I'll lay the 6. And to me, it wouldn't matter if he's in or out. I'd like it even more if he's out. But I'll take the 6. I'll lay the 6 here. I think these guys bounce back, and they've got a beat up opponent in the Pacers to go out there and do it. So we'll kick it off. Also, for those that like to hear some trends around it, I got one for you. Bucks are 5-1 against the spread on the season. It's not a huge number. It's not a huge trend, but I'll take that. Now, arguably, the Pacers do have the tougher strength of schedule. They find themselves 4-2. They can't win. And the Pacers overs, we hit that the other day. I'm just going to go to the Bucks though. To me, probably I don't know. I don't know if I want to get cute with the over. I just lay the 6. Just give me the Bucks, a bounce back Bucks. Bounce back Bucks. Why not? Why not? Gosh, I wish we could have gotten on the right side of this. Portland game is just amazing. It's amazing that line moved like 3x. Well, 2.5 times. 2.5 times where the number was sitting that I played earlier today. That is amazing. I can't believe it. But we have to let it go. Take the Clippers here with the -7.5. One of the best home courts in NBA. Now, they're not covering a ton of spreads this year to start things off, but a little bit of a 55% of the bets on the Heat, 56% of the cash on the Heat. Total's not moving. Frozen total, and the over is getting hammered. 88% of the bets, 87% of the cash are hitting this over. No movement. None. Nada. Zilch. Looking at this Clippers Heat battle. If you're the Heat, you got your third game on the road in a row. You played the Spurs. You played the Lakers. You're getting beat up. All of a sudden, the script's supposed to change, and you're going to come out there and beat these Clippers? Clippers have struggled, though. Whereas you take a team that's losing consistently on a series of road trips, this line probably could be a 10. Problem is they're not covering. They're 1-4 in their last 5. They have shown dominance as a home favorite over the Southeast Division. They're 21-4 outright. So how did I get to the spot with the number? Because I thought, again, we're looking at a situation with the 7.5 that should be a 10 that we're buying down. Now, the guy to watch out for obviously isn't Tyler Hero. He's going to be out of this game. But Norman Powell is ready to feast. He's angry. Thinks the Clippers did him dirty. And he's at questionable status here for the game tonight with that groin injury. So we'll have to kind of pay attention to what happens out there. But this is the first Eastern Conference opponent of the season for the Clippers. Why do I mention that? Because last year, since March, the Clippers are a 10-0 ATS against Eastern Conference opponents. You got to respect that. Also, in those situations, they're covering the spread by 12.5 points. So there should be some healthy margin. Clippers should come out here and beat these boys down. And the fact that it really hasn't moved too much doesn't scare me because it's the last game on the board. It's a 10:30 Eastern start. So I'm sure a lot of people are just sitting around waiting to see who's going to play, waiting to get the worst number. And we'll take the -7.5 here to get this play on the board for us. Let's move to some, whoops, I should have moved that. Why didn't I move that? Keep in mind the Heat's schedule too. Boy, they played some tight ones there. Got Orlando Magic a couple times to kick things off. The Hawks. Tough Eastern Conference opponents now to take that West Coast roadie. So let's move into some college hoops. Let's get this game on the board. For me, this one came down to not wanting to get invested in the Central Michigan business. When these teams play in the MAC, they can fire, but this line's been interestingly getting banged by the Sharp Respected Betting Report today. Last night into today. And of course, it kind of makes sense because they knew that the season was upon us. So why wouldn't you? But for me, this was just a situation where I want to fade Central Michigan, Appalachian State. Sneaky little, let's see what the number was I got for these guys. I'm just going to move through these pretty quickly. Again, there's not a ton to go off of at this point of the season. -102 was the number I got for Appy State. So I took them on the money line. Appalachian State, -102. Fading, to me, it's a fade play. I don't necessarily like to give, I told you guys before, I'm not passionate about the fade plays. Look, a lot of guys like this Arizona-Florida game. I thought I'd just touch on the number real quick for you guys. 69% of the bets are on Florida, but 71% of the cash are on Arizona. And you got reverse line movement on that. I wouldn't touch that game. You know, I get it. They're big schools, and I went away from this a little bit in college football where I started playing like the bigger games and shit. Why? Our advantage lies in some of these dog shit schools. Scumbag University playing middle fuck you has a better chance for us to cash because the books aren't paying attention to that line. This line opened at -2.5. Once the season kind of got started, if you will, or came fluid, that the number moved and they became +1.5. And it's kind of ping-ponged all day today. 54% of the bets and 61% of the cash are on Appy State. Totals climbed up 4 points, 71% of the bets, 70% of the cash on the under. Play for me is taking Appy State. I just, like I said, I want to fade this Central Michigan team. You know what's interesting? Well, there's a report that I got today. It's basically home favorites line between 1 and 4 points. And they dominate. They shove in pitching terms. And it's loaded with MAC schools. Why not? MAC schools are kind of one of them teams where it's like, hey, if they're at home and they're playing anybody, laying 1 or 2 points, they probably got a shot. 71-23 straight up, 63-30 against the spread. Guess which team's not on that list? Central Michigan. They're fade. Eastern Michigan's on the list. Buffalo's on the list. Western Michigan's on the list. Ohio's on the list. Toledo's on the list. All in play today, by the way. If you want to parlay those up, I strongly encourage it for a little fun bet. But Appy State's not on the list. And so, I'm sorry, Central Michigan's not on the list. So I'll take the sharp respected advice and fire on this Appy State squad. Going to move into a team that is known for possession basketball. That is this Virginia Cavaliers team. Low, slow tempo. Power program. Gets respect, gets recognition. I'm trying to find, told you I didn't put all the tags in. So I'm doing that on the fly. Bear with me. Stop Geo says, Central Michigan ain't nothing but a party school. I speak from experience. Nice. There you go. Caesars has a 100% profit boost on any college basketball straight or parlays. Dude, play that parlay I just told you about. What was it? Eastern Michigan, Western Michigan, Toledo, and Ohio, and Buffalo. I did that with my parlay boost on DraftKings, but I couldn't use Buffalo because it's a New York school. Anyhow, there's so many games. Got to flood through these things and try to find them. Please hold. I should start writing down the rotation number. Maybe that would be easier. Pretty sure this one starts at 7, right? And then if you go past it, you're just fucked. You got to go all the way back up. Really captivating, isn't it? Me just scrolling what you guys are watching me do it. Come on. There it is. Huge number. Virginia taking on Rider of the Storm. They had way more than a 4 in this one, laying 26.5 now. And a ton of money coming in on Rider. 98% of the bets, 90% of the cash. I don't know. Woo. Totals moved up 5 points now to 148.5. 78% of the bets, 78% of the cash. For me, I took a shot with this under, and the reason I was looking at it was just, again, the home dominance. The numbers suggest that they beat the shit out of Rider, but do they beat them up so much that they start putting some of the lesser experienced fellers in there and open that back door up? That's what concerns me. Virginia at home, 53-17 to the under. And if you put some meat on that number, if that number's over 130 for Virginia, the under has hit 18 of the last 19 times. Don't have a ton to go on for college hoops, but I'll go on that. Oops, I put it in the wrong spot. Whoops, that was supposed to go here. It doesn't matter at this point, does it? Doesn't matter at this point. And then I got one last game. in college hoops. I'm taking Florida Atlantic. Here's the theory for me with this Florida Atlantic spot. Let me put the number in there. It's all theorem. Try to apply intuition with observation, right? What happened 2 years ago? Well, nobody even knew that the Florida Atlantic University were called the Owls. And then they slapped everybody around in the tournament, and guess what happened? They became popular. They started big dicking everybody in the tournament, and that big dicking carried over to the following year. Now, what happens after an organization like that goes far is they get booster support. They get money, and it's now legal to buy players. So all of this capital gets infused into the university. They upgrade facilities. The weight room gets upgraded. All of a sudden, there's no longer the duct tape on the curl bar because it's all rusted out. No, they got brand new curl. They got Nautilus machines and everything else that goes along with it, right? This is what happens in universities that find some success. Boosters that crawl out of the woodwork want to go, they want to paint their face on game day and celebrate that they're a fucking owl. I don't know. But I know that the sophomore slump after a season like that was last year for Florida Atlantic. So they ran around everywhere like big dicks last year. And now guess what? The allure is worn off a little bit, right? The luster. You're no longer that team that went out into you got to go back and do it again. The boosters are they're not buying you steak dinners, but they're still hosting a steak fundraiser. And they're kind of giving it to you a little bit. Hey, you guys got to start working harder. We want you to come back and get that number, So I think this is the year that they jump out and pull that. And let me tell you this, a Boston College team, the only time Boston College shows up is when they play Syracuse. So you get a money line on Florida Atlantic at, in a situation to start this season off against a vulnerable Boston College squad out there. I'll take Florida Atlantic. I think that they can come out there and figure it out. I hope that makes sense to you guys, but Jerry Davis is Buffalo down a dozen. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me either. All right, Monday Night Football. Then we'll put a bow on the show, you guys. Thank you all for checking in. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. If you haven't done so yet, take a second to do just that. And I told you guys, Winnable has been firing. We had a huge UFC card. We had a strong NFL situation yesterday. All the programming starting to come together. Things are starting to happen. So if you haven't checked out Winnable yet, $1 a day. Great way to say thanks for doing what you do, Mikey Money. And minus the small processing fee, the proceeds all go to me, which helps me continue to invest in our infrastructure to grow this thing. Bring on new guys, get new tools, get new technology, all to help us make more winning bets. Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
Okay. Quick little shout out to the Win Club. I appreciate all you guys that are a member of it today. I want to say thank you for the support. It gets me motivated. Every time I see somebody renews, I'm like, all right. Hopefully they're making some money. All right, guys, Monday Night Football. Dun, 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 dun. Best intro song in the business is the Monday Night Football song. Maybe you've paid attention. Maybe you haven't. But usually when they get that kickoff song, guess who's muted and looking over? Because I get jacked up for that Monday. Two things jack me up for intro songs. The Monday Night Football and the Enter Sandman in Blacksburg. And that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else that really gets me going like that. But the Monday Night Football, especially now with Chris Stapleton and Snoop Dogg, and that's good stuff. Cardinals come in here. They open at 1.5. They're now 3.5. 75% of the bets and 64% of the cash are on the Cowboys. So you have a little bit of a delta. You have a little discrepancy, a difference towards the Cardinals. 47.5s have moved to 54s, expecting a shootout with 25% of the bets and 66% of the cash on the over. The Sharps agree Jerry World's going to have a blowout. Scoreboard might not have enough digits on it at Jerry World tonight to go out there and manage the process the way they have to. I don't know. Cowboys come in after getting thrashed and trashed by Denver. 44-24. Denver busted them boys up. And they had just come off a divisional win against Washington, 44-22 before that. They are back home. This will be their second home game in 5 weeks. Think about that. Lots of travel for this Cowboys squad. Cardinals, on the other hand, coming in off a bye. Teams tend to go into the bye very well. Now, they lost to the Green Bay Packers. They were getting 7. They covered, but they lost. That didn't age very well. We saw how soft them Packers are. But the issue I have right now is, well, we know Kyler Murray's out, so they get Jacoby Brissett. I've talked to you guys about this before. When you have a backup quarterback that had pro experience in different camps and still in the game, how much of a setback is that? Now, I've told you, I think Dak's fraud. I'm an Eagles guy. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm not betting on Dallas. I think that Dak's shown. He might be good, but he's not good enough. Is he better than Jacoby Brissett? Probably. The problem is he's got to score 100 points because that defense is sloppy. They're horrible. On the other side of things, the Cardinals will bring out new defensive players coming back in the lineup, getting stocked up. Owen Poppy? I'm not sure. James Conner's out. James Conner's always out. Is that a big deal for your running back? No. That's why I expect that I gave you guys the first touchdown situation. They pulled Dak Prescott for Joe Milton in that Denver game. And then Joe Milton showed that he could chuck the ball all over the yard. So are feelings getting hurt in Jerry World? Maybe. I like Ferguson to get a touchdown in this game as well, but at the end of it for me, I'm going to take the 3.5 with the hook. I'm not falling for it. It's a short number to begin with to say, what's going on here? And I'll tell you, let me do that, and let me give you a trend. As soon as I find it. If they run for under 100 rushing yards on the road, they are 11-0 the following game. They figure it out. They tighten up the most important piece, which is keep the other offense off the field. Thing is, they're 9-2 straight up after a poor rushing performance. And we talked about James Conner being out of the lineup. So yes, I like the rushing props for the running backs here because I think if you're the Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett, you got a lot of checkdowns too. I think what happens is you've got live options for your, Knight. I think he's a live option to catch receiving props because Brissett rolls out. He looks deep. He can't throw the ball more than 7 yards. And so what's his comfort zone? The guy that's sitting over 2 yards away from me that can just easily catch one of them sidearm chucks. So I like that play. I think that's a good look, but I'm going to take the 3.5. I think the wrong team's favored. By the way, the margin, don't be surprised if you find me laying a 7 on the Arizona side of things here. Gently, conservatively, but 11-0 against the spread. They're winning those games by 14 points a clip. The average line is a 3. That's right where this number is sitting. Right where this number is sitting right now. So you're telling me essentially I got 10 points to work with on the other side of this thing. Might be a good opportunity to sprinkle, just a little sprinkle. Have a little fun with it, trying to make it a nice little Monday nighter. But we came off a really glorious week of NFL football. So that's going to be the way we do it. Robert Franklin says Ferguson over 41.5. Blake M says Ferguson 6+ receptions. I like a Ferguson touchdown. He's gotten touchdowns. He's got like 6 touchdowns in his last 5 weeks or something to that effect. So you know the deal, you guys. Jay Main says Brissett over 13.5. Jay Main's got McBride, got to show out. All the tight ends showed out this week. Pickens 70+ receiving yards. Kyler officially inactive tonight. Yes, he is. All right, you guys, have a great night. Hopefully you'll join us here at 7:45 for the best damn live show in the business. On behalf of the Sports Money Network, I'm your boy, Mikey Money. I'll see you tonight, 7:45. Good luck, good betting. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow for pregame at 6 p.m.